Calling Woodland Park Police. Another missing girl.
This is Nicole.
Yes, hi Nicole. I was wondering if I can speak with an investigator about Ali Ponte.
You have information?
Yes, I sure do. And I need to speak with an investigator that can give me a few moments of time because this is extremely serious, and I believe I know who's responsible for her disappearance.
Okay, I need to get some general information first from you. What's your name?
My name is Danielle Kekoa, Kekoa.
And what's a good phone number for you, Danielle?
720-443-3264.
And can I just get like a general summary?
Yeah, general summary is we've been calling in tips about a whole group of individuals who are abducting and killing kids since Jessica Ridgeway went missing, and they conveniently got a boy to confess to the crime, and then after that they conspired to abduct Dylan Redwine, and they use Facebook. They have hundreds of fake identities to target people. They pretend to be teenagers and all various types of people, and then they set up missing pages or disinfo pages on Facebook to collect information and to mislead the investigation. Now, I've reported this to 10 police jurisdictions, and for some reason, these people have not been stopped. But they've been on the news, and it's public knowledge, and I just need to speak with someone who could take me seriously because they started an alley page, and the pattern is the same.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
The news thing, explain the page. She fucking ran. 1 minute after it fucking ran.
Exactly.
Now they do the same thing. Anytime you put up information about these people, you get banned. 1 minute, so they're behind the page. What's up?
What's this music?
Is it recording?
Okay, I'm going to pass you through. Hold on 1 second.
Okay, thank you.
This is Corporal Library.
Yes, hi. My name is Danielle Kekoa, and I was just wondering if I can have a few moments of your time to give you a tip about Ali Ponte, who's recently been missing.
Sure, let me get some of your contact information first. You said your name was Danielle?
Yes.
Okay, can you spell that for me?
Sure. Danielle. My last name is Kekoa, Kekoa.
Kekoa.
Yes.
All right, and what's your date of birth, ma'am?
4579.
Okay, what's a good phone number to reach you at?
720-443-3264.
And what's your address?
865 West 97th Avenue in North Glen, 80260.
North Glen. And 80260?
Yes.
All right, do you have an email address that you want to give out today?
I sure do. It's DANIKEKOA@gmail.com.
Alrighty. And what do you do for a living?
I'm a mother of 6.
That is perfect. All right. All right, what do you have for us?
Okay, this is really important because this has been going on since Jessica Ridgeway was abducted last October. And we have discovered that a group of individuals here in Colorado that are running around as pro-life Christians, we discovered after years-long worth of investigation that they are child killers. And they organize these abductions, and then they target people on Facebook, first of all. They have hundreds of fake identities, all walks of life, lots of teenage identities, and then they target families who are going through custody battles or who are divorced or have any kind of problem. And so what happens is they make these people disappear, like Jessica Ridgeway and like Dylan Redwine, and then they currently, as we speak, are framing Mark Redwine and trying to build a case against him using Facebook. And what they do is they create these information pages that seem to be legitimate. The one right now is Help Find Ali Ponte, a.k.a. Alexandra Renee Ponte. And it seems to be a source of tips and give us your information, we have our prayers for you type of thing. And what they do is they ask for the information and they will censor anybody who gets too close to them. And they will ban you, and then they will target you in other ways, gang up on you and silence you one way or another. But they are behind Jessica Ridgeway's abduction, and they started the Jessica Ridgeway page. The woman's name is Kimberly K. Bowman, and she's been all over the news. And Kimberly K. Bowman is a woman who conspired with a convicted child abuser named Robert Adolph Enyart to abduct Jessica Ridgeway. And she was on the news for making a Facebook page and exploiting Jessica Ridgeway and stealing about $30,000 from the Ridgeway family through various charity things. And she started a Missing Children's Foundation. And then when the Ridgeway family ordered her to stop and they got Austin Rigsig to confess to the crime, they then organized Dylan Redwine's abduction and started the same thing on Facebook. They have multiple hate pages against Mark Redwine, and they have multiple Justice for Dylan pages seemingly to be legitimate for justice for Dylan. None of these pages are legitimate. And every time I go on these pages to try to give information about the convicted child abuser and Kimberly Bowman, I get banned and silenced instantly. And we've had multiple private communications with them, and we know for a fact they're behind it. And now for some reason, since October, we've had multiple instances of children and adults missing and showing up dead on mountains and dismembered. Okay, for some reason, 10 different jurisdictions have not gone to talk to Robert Adolph Enyart or Kimberly K. Bowman. Now, the police have come to talk to us and got our DNA over Jessica Ridgeway. But we are wondering why. We're told the FBI is working on it. But we don't know why, because kids keep showing up missing and dead. And so I really want you to take as much information as you can from me, because you'll probably take this to the FBI and they'll tell you not to call me back, because that's the pattern that's been going on for the past 11 months. And our family's been targeted. They tried to take our 6 kids and were unsuccessful. That's why they went after Dylan and Jessica.
Okay, and what's the male's name? You said that there was
a convicted child abuser. His name is Robert Adolph Enyart, and he goes by Bob.
Robert Adolph
Enyart, Enyart.
Okay.
And his date of birth is 1/10/59.
Okay.
And he has an FBI number and a social security number we have, if that would be helpful.
Okay, I should be able to find if I need.
Yeah, you should be able to, because the FBI has been well aware of this for a year now. And we don't know. This is the deal, is in September, this time last year, we discovered that Bob Enyart was at the scene of the crime at the JonBenet Ramsey murder in 1996, and we made our intentions known to him that we know what you've done and you need to turn yourself in. And that's when he organized Jessica Ridgeway's abduction. Okay, and we know this for a fact, and we need somebody in law enforcement to really take us seriously, because we're starting to wonder when we're next, frankly. And it's unnerving to know that there are innocent children being targeted on Facebook and then they disappear because they have a fight with their mom.
Okay. Now, you say you know this for a fact. How do you know this for a fact?
Well, we know this for a fact because we've put together 20 years worth of criminal records and timelines, and we have thousands of documents. They started making hate pages about us, and we know them because we've communicated with them for 2 years on the internet through hundreds of their fake identities. And so we have studied their behavior patterns. We have and we belonged to Bob Enyart's church for 10 years. And so we were insiders for 10 years, and then he targeted our family and tried to kill our kids and frame us for the crime. Now, he was unsuccessful, like I said, and that's why he targeted families that are more vulnerable, like Jessica Ridgeway's family and Dylan Redwine's family, because they're busy with a custody battle. They didn't notice that their kid was going to be missing. And so we know this for a fact. The church. Bob Enyart is a cult leader in Nevada. He has a church called Denver Bible Church. He's also on the radio, and he uses this as a cover. And I've told this same story to 10 different jurisdictions at least. And he goes around as a pro-life pastor. He's behind the Personhood USA movement, and he rants and raves against dismembering unborn children ad nauseum, how bad it is to kill kids in the womb. Abortionist, he targets and has abortionists assassinated. He's responsible for the bombings of abortion clinics. And so this is not debatable. This is all on record. But he has other people do the dirty work for him because he's like Charles Manson.
Now, what's his name?
His name is Robert Adolph Enyart, and he's the Charles Manson of the group, and he has hundreds of followers that will do his work for him, and he works, like I said, anonymously on the internet. So half the people think he's a teenage girl, half the people think he, is a Islamic jihadist or a homosexual or a variety of controversial groups he'll pretend to be, just so he can.
He's the pastor, right?
Yes. And he's a convicted child abuser. He's been convicted of child abuse twice, and he's had restraining orders put against him for abusing kids. And then just 2 months before JonBenet was murdered, he had a restraining order put against him. And a month before, they were suing Boulder for $10 million because one of his co-conspirators was in a mental institution for targeting and harassment. And he was labeled homicidal. And so these are very dangerous people who've been on the radar for 20 years, but they just commit enough misdemeanor crimes. They get arrested for trespassing and harassment and stalking and child abuse, and then they can get away with murder because no one is paying attention to the fact that they're the ones organizing it.
Okay, now how are they related to Alexander Ponte?
Okay, good question. Because I decided to give this about a week to study this because she disappeared under the same mysterious circumstances as these other kids. And just poof, out of thin air, there's something goes on Facebook, and then she storms off, and then she's gone. Now, that in itself isn't a dead giveaway, but what is a dead giveaway is that a Facebook page popped up instantly, showing their support and offering their prayers and begging her to, and offering, this is the source for information. Send us your tips here, and we'll deliver it to law enforcement. And just like the Jessica Ridgeway page, and just like the Dylan Redwine pages, every time I offer a tip about the convicted child abuser and Kim Bowman, they ban me and silence me immediately. They will not allow the tips. Now, if somebody really cares about Allie and wants all the information, I don't see the point in banning a convicted child abuser as a possible suspect. Okay, and so this is the pattern that they do. We've studied this, like I said, for 2 full years on the internet, daily. So we have thousands of snapshots of conversations we've had, private communications we've had. We've documented everything. And so when I say we know this for a fact, here's the other interesting thing. Bob Enyart, the pastor, the public figure, we've been communicating with him every single day, privately through anonymous identities he uses, and we've been sending him public emails. We've we've made his intentions known by telling every single person in his entire pro-life cult, including the police. And Bob Enyart won't so much as even tell us to stop. Now, you would think if we are calling someone a serial child killer, that you would sue us. We've made a website you might want to check out called JonBenet.com. And as a public figure and as a pastor and even as an average Joe, I don't think anybody's okay with someone else calling them a murderer unless if you're guilty and he has no recourse. He cannot tell the police that we're harassing him. He can't do anything. He can't tell us to stop because he's guilty. He tried to kill our kids and take them from us, and he was unsuccessful, and we've been exposing him ever since. We purchased all of his court documents, and we know for a fact he's a serial killer. And now he just needs somebody in the police department to go in and question him and arrest him.
Okay. How did he try to get your kids?
He conspired with everybody in his church, Kimberly Bowman specifically, to make multiple false reports to social services to get our kids taken, saying that we were violent abusers, neglectful drug addicts, that we are going to murder our children in our basement. And so they repeatedly got law enforcement over here. They got a court order to take our kids away. And social services checked us out and gave us a gold star and said, unfounded. These are all false allegations. You guys are a good family. This is wrong. And so when that happened and everything was unfounded, they weren't able to get our kids out of our custody. Then they made a whole bunch of Facebook hate pages against us, tried to get the public to take our kids away, and on and on and on. And we studied them. We got their IP addresses. We studied them for 24 months now, and we know for a fact it's them. They've already confessed. Kimberly K. Bowman confessed online to a conspiracy with Bob Enyart and his church, and so against us. So this is not hearsay. This is not revenge. I'm trying to get back at them. This is a fact. They try to take kids from good families, and then they try to frame the parents or a boyfriend or a roommate or somebody for the crime. It's extremely sophisticated.
Now, when they take these kids, how do they take them?
Well, that's for you to find out. I don't know exactly. What I suspect, here's an example of what they do, because they tried to do this to us. They pretended to be a motorist in distress in front of our house. They had two guys set up this scenario where their car broke down. They put some cones out. They had some children's decorations on the car, and it said, child parties and a phone number, and had these really creepy dudes pretending to be broken down. And we have a sign on our door because we've been targeted by these individuals for 2 years. We have a sign that says, go away if we're not expecting you or we're calling the cops. Well, they pounded on our door, and they would not stop pounding on our door. And when we finally opened the door, they flashed a badge at us and tried to lure us outside to do something. And at that point, that's when we called the police, and a few minutes went by. They sprinkled some water on their car, and it magically started, and they went away. Now, that's one example. They do target people on Facebook. They have, like I said, hundreds, I'm not exaggerating, of fake identities. Teenage girls, teenage boys, housewives, and everything you can think of. And what they do is they impersonate family members. They're also impersonating the Redwine family. They have Elaine Hatfield's identity. They have Corey's identity. They have everybody close to the Redwine family, and it's an obvious troll identity. It's obvious. And they have this person who started this Facebook page for Allie is from Utah and says, I don't know you, but I just have all this concern for you. And every day this is the same exact pattern that they've done with Jessica Ridgeway and Dylan Redwine and countless other kids. But those two for sure, and including us, we have snapshots of everything to prove it. Okay? And now go ahead.
What do they do when they take them? What do they do with the kids?
Well, this is what I suspect. I don't know exactly, but I know if they're targeting them on Facebook, they can suggest meeting somewhere. Meet me at the park. You can stay the night at my house. Text message me. Walk this way, and then they flash a badge and pick somebody up, or just pick them up. Teenagers are very trusting, especially when they're pissed off at their parents. So it's not that hard to get them. They also have white vans. They also have mobile home type things where they the meth on wheels, they call it, where they can target these people, they can make them disappear, and then what they did with Jessica Ridgeway and what they've done with Dylan is they dismember them. Now, Allie is a teenage girl, and like Kara Kara Nichols and a couple other girls who disappeared, they might be sold into sex slavery because these are pedophiles that we're dealing with here. Now, I predict that if Allie shows up, she will be dismembered and thrown across the mountain somewhere because that's what they do. But as long as this is their motto too, you might find it interesting that Kimberly K. Bowman started a Colorado Missing Children's Foundation that she was on the news for. She was also on the news for Dylan Redwine's family multiple times. They asked her to step out of the picture. She won't. But they have a motto that it's only a murder if you can find the body. Otherwise, it's just a missing person. And so they get off on these things. These are religious psychopaths that get off on stirring up strife, misleading investigations, and making kids disappear. And it's fun for them. If you've noticed the spike in crime around town since October, missing adults, missing children, dead bodies in rivers, dead bodies on mountains, fires, arson, black forest, they're all behind it. This is all them. They have, who knows how many people they have working for them, but they get teenagers to do their dirty work. And I don't know exactly how they do it. They're Satanists and they're sophisticated. That's for the law enforcement and the FBI to figure out. And it's been almost a year, and I'm sure the investigation should lead them to Enyart somewhere.
Now, what's their motive? I guess
Well, their motive is money would be a very small part because they accept donations for their charity work. But the real motivation right now is Bob Enyart murdered JonBenet Ramsey, and he is scared to death of being caught. And so he's a very extreme religious psychopath. So he loves the attention in a sense of causing chaos. He loves to get on the air and preach about how wrong it is to dismember children and how wrong it is to kill kids in the womb. And then he goes out and kills kids and then frames people for the crime. And then he gets to preach about how wrong it is and how he's anti-government. He has no respect for the government. And so he loves to mock the system and prove how incompetent it is. If you notice the DOC chief, Tom Clements, that got assassinated in his house by the parolee, supposedly, Bob Enyart was on the news that day talking about jail being a joke. So he's an extreme hypocrite. And so he loves to do the very things he preaches against. So he preaches against child killing. He preaches against the justice system. He preaches against rape and homosexuality and all these things. And this is what he does. He's a convicted child abuser, and he accused us of being child abusers and tried to get our kids taken away, if that gives you some perspective.
So once he has the kids, I guess, what's the point of him either dismembering them or selling them off? What does he gain out of it?
Because he's a sadistic, because he's extremely sadistic, and this is what gets him off. He loves this. His wife, most likely, his third wife, by the way, his third wife most likely is not in the picture, and he has 3 young boys that are either dead or out of the picture too. He keeps talking about killer dads, and he keeps trying to build a case against Mark Redwine killing Dylan. This guy has nothing going for him. Ever since he came after our family, he's completely been destroyed because he's been found out. Up until this point, 2 years ago, everybody thought he was a pro-life Christian pastor. And if you study criminal minds and you get the FBI profilers in, you will see that Enyart fits the profile to a T of being a religious psycho who likes to do the very things he preaches against. I mean, here's an example. He murdered JonBenet Ramsey in 1996, and in 1999, when Alex Hunter and the grand jury were in session and Alex Hunter decided not to indict the parents, well, Bob Enyart and his co-conspirator, Kenneth Tyler Scott, were protesting right there on the courthouse steps, blaming the Ramseys, saying they did it, and the ransom note proves it. There's shadowgov.com t-shirts. This is their small foreign faction group that they've been terrorizing the entire state, if not the nation, for 20 years. Abortion buildings, abortionists that have gotten bombed and shot up, missing children that there's no explanation for. These are the people behind it. And I'm telling you, if you get an FBI profiler in, they will look at him, they'll look at his history, his post-murder behavior, his criminal background, and everything screams that this guy is a child killer. He gets off on it. I don't know why. You'll have to ask him.
Do you have anything else for us? I've written all your info down. We're going to supplement the case with you for it.
I don't know if I have anything else. I do just strongly encourage somebody in law enforcement to follow up on this tip and take it seriously, because if you don't, more teenagers, more little kids, and more adults are going to show up missing and dead. And I've been saying this since Jessica Ridgeway, and since then we've had Annie Myers and Nate Leon and Dave Noreen and a handful of others, including Dylan Redwine, that have gone missing and shown up dead and dismembered. And so this would sound crazy if these things weren't going on around town, but somebody's behind this. And Austin Reed Sid, the little 17-year-old boy, did not act alone.
Okay. Who's Austin Reed?
Austin Reed is the one who confessed to murdering Jessica Ridgeway.
Okay.
And now he's not.
But now he's pleading not guilty because everybody knows a boy didn't do this.
We will look into this stuff. Thank you for the call. If you do have more information, do give us a call back.
I will. And can you can I email you the snapshot of what I took and posted on this alley page, and then I got banned within minutes? Okay. Is there an email I can send to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have a pen?
Yes.
Okay. ALEIBBRAND at city-woodlandpark.org.
Okay. Can you spell the first part of that again?
It's ALEIBB as in boy.
Oh, BB. Okay.
RAND.
Okay. Great. Okay, thank you so much for giving me so much time. And I would also see if you guys have any investigators in CBI or something that can look and to see the authentic ownership of this page, because it is run by them. That's not debatable. And I'd like for somebody to study what goes on this page, because often they leave clues. They're talking about having look in dumpster or just different storage sheds or abandoned buildings. They like to leave clues, and it could lead you in the opposite direction, or it could lead you to something. But it's worth looking into and finding out who exactly owns it and what her motivation is.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.